Hi everyone. I'm on a swing today, which is actually really exciting and wasn't my original plan. I was driving to the beach and there was some craziness happening, but this is actually one of my favorite spots also. And it's only a couple minutes away, so I decided to drive here instead. And I think it's perfect for the topic of this video because I felt a little bit of resistance coming here because the beach is so much larger, and I'm able to find pockets of like safe space far away, I guess, so that I feel as though I'm not disturbing people with my words and not putting myself in too much of a public situation while I'm recording myself, because this is still weird for me. It's still very new, and I myself am overcoming cringe culture by knowing that I have a louder calling to do this and to make these videos and to talk about these thought topics. So yeah, I came to the playground. It's still very early in the morning, so I have the place mostly to myself. I don't know, there's someone in the parking lot, but that's okay. I still might go to the beach, and I mean, I'm going to the beach. I think I'm just gonna wait for whatever was happening to subside so that I can enter, and maybe I'll record another video there because I have plenty of topics on my list. Before I get into it, maybe I should say hi, my name's Allison. I'm an interdisciplinary artist and an intuitive artist, and I also enjoy talking about these topics and definitely feeling very called to talk about things that I know, the things that I know. And today we're going to be talking about cringe culture, this sort of phrase or term that has come up a lot recently online. I also apologize, I have to wear my sunglasses because it's just too bright and directly in my eyes, where I will be squinting the entire time. But normally I do like to just have my eyeballs out and connecting with you guys. Cringe culture is perfectionism repackaged, right? Cringe culture is the relinquishing of your power to external forces. And that can be very dangerous. That could be very dangerous in terms of shrinking and tarnishing creative potential and opportunity, right? Because the creativity vortex that exists is infinite and expansive. I often think of David Lynch and a lot of his speeches about the infinite potential of this creativity ocean. He likens creativity to an ocean, and that it is expansive and deep, and having an idea is like catching a fish on your fishing hook, and then one idea leads to another, because then if you have something on your hook, you have a little fish, and that becomes bait for a bigger fish, bigger idea. And I think this is a really interesting analogy for how creativity is able to grow when we allow it, right? When we utilize our resources, and our resources are mostly internal. I would argue that, you know, the mediums through which artists and creatives use externally to get their ideas outward are a much smaller percentage of what actual resources are utilized in the creative process, which it's all internal, right? It's perspective, it's imagination, it's your soul as much as your body and your autonomy and what you're able to produce physically. But it's absolutely an internal thing. Take a little swing. This is actually really great for just moving through the energy. This isn't in a neighborhood, so I also don't know who else might need to hear this message, but cringe culture affects everyone, especially nowadays. I find it really troubling that definitely within the creative sphere, but in so many other spaces, right? People are afraid to take up space. And why? When did it become embarrassing to be alive? When did it become embarrassing to be alive? Because that's the narrative that cringe culture paints, and I just don't ascribe myself to that. I don't subscribe to that. It's so limiting. It can really shrink you, right? It's reminding me of a video, I forget what it was, but of another creator talking about how worrying what others will think about you is being a slave to external opinion. And obviously, slavery is the opposition of freedom. And especially if you're doing it to yourself. You're just imprisoning and entrapping yourself. And for what, you know? Because you're worried about what others will think of you? Which leads me to another thought where whenever we are assuming somebody will judge us, right? It is just that. It's an assumption. Which therein means that you are actually doing the negative self-talk, the self-judgment towards yourself, but also in a way you're judging the other person that you think might be judging you because you're assuming that they would be thinking negatively, that they would be painting a poor or negative picture of you and the person that you are and what you embody and what you stand for. And that's not very fair to them either, is it? It's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to them. So who is that mindset really benefiting? And it's whenever I ask myself those questions that it really sparks so much curiosity in me, just from a depth like, you know, these are systemic things that we have all been succumbed to. So it's also not something that, you know, we need to blame ourselves for. Let's definitely give ourselves grace. We're all negatively impacted by these systems that have been in play for how long, you know? And why? And who started them? And to what benefit did this, you know, unidentifiable entity start a trickle-down effect of negative thinking and of us maintaining that negative thinking towards each other, being judgmental towards each other, being judgmental towards ourselves, again, feeling embarrassed for being alive. Oh, that's such a good sentence. Because it really just sums it up. Like, why? Why would we be embarrassed for being free? And I think one of the reasons why I was actually called to come to this playground instead is because there is a direct link between creativity and your inner child, right? And when we think about children expressing themselves, they have not yet been trained to become stiff in the way that adults have become so stiff. When a child is creating something, they are doing it for A, the pure joy of the present moment, and B, the transcendent act of being able to see a mark of them in the world. Nowhere in that equation are they considering the perception of others of their final product, right? That's never taken into consideration because that's never the point. It's not what matters. What matters is the process and the mark making. Literally making your mark in the world. From whatever space feels most genuine and authentic to you. And I'm on a playground, and this is usually where there's so much energy of kids expressing themselves physically, you know? Like, I definitely think of sport as art and creativity as much as a painting, because it is dance. Sport is dance. We just don't talk about them in the same sentence enough. But the way that children run around freely, and sometimes their legs start moving before they really know where they're gonna end up. And isn't there so much beauty in that? To just be free, to let yourself go, and to experience the present moment, to experience the world around you, to experience yourself, to fully embody who you are, what you feel, what you know, how you see the world. And honestly, in my opinion, cringe culture is just mean. It's so high school, you know? It's so high school. That mindset of just hive mind, judging, ganging up on people, being like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not them. I would never put myself in that situation. I would never do that. Okay, cool. And where's that getting you? Because that person's free, you know? Whenever I do experience a direct reflection of somebody else's insecurity and attempted projection onto me of me being free and them having discomfort about that and trying to make me also feel their discomfort. And I've been able to train myself slowly but surely to not absorb that, because it's not mine, it's theirs, right? That's yours to deal with. It's not mine. I've done the work, and I've gotten myself to a point thus far to be more open and embodied. And when somebody else is trying to place that on me, I just kind of shrug and I go, oh, well, that's too bad. Because now I see people like that as a reference point, because I definitely used to operate that way in the world. It's so easy to fall into the collective consciousness of like the school of fish that are all going in one direction, right? And so now I'm just like, well, that's my reference point of, I remember how small and insecure and scared I was all the time. Again, being scared to be alive, being embarrassed to be alive. Then what's the point of being here? What's the point of being, you know? And so to directly oppose that and just tell myself, well, you know, I hope they can find freedom within themselves. Because that's where it comes from. It doesn't come from any external force, and that's the problem with cringe culture. It's relinquishing your power to external forces. Okay, well, my phone ran out of storage, but I made it to the beach. So I'm just gonna close out by saying, please allow your soul to direct you. That should always be the loudest voice in the room, the most honored voice. Other people will have their opinions, and they're allowed to. That's fine. If they don't want to live their life the same way you want to live yours, guess what, you guys? There's billions of us here. there's billions of us here, and you know, it's more likely than not that people aren't going to want to live their life exactly as you want to live yours. And that's the beauty of this, right? It's like there's infinite potential of how one can show up and express themselves, and infinite potential of personalities and perspective and creative approach, creative outlook. So sit in that, remember that, embrace and protect your creativity, your authenticity, because creativity without authenticity, it just lacks heart, it lacks truth, right? Embody your truth, nourish your creative calling, and allow yourself to move through the cringe, sit with it, embrace it. It's there for a reason. And you never know the type of person that you'll be on the other side of it. I think that's what really guides me to continue poking my bubble, my boundaries, because every time I'm so excited when I get to meet the version of me on the other side of cringe, because she's so much freer, or even just a little bit freer. It's still really special and really important. So yeah, I encourage you to be free. I encourage you to use your voice to express yourself. Never do anything without intention, right? Intention is everything. So even if you know you're going to experience discomfort, setting the intention that I know I'm doing something that is expansive, that may cause me discomfort, but I intend to sit with that, I intend to release it, and I intend to embrace the slightly freer version of me on the other side of it. And that is everything. Okay? Also, I just want to say I saw a groundhog here, which was so unexpected. At a beach. It's like, I guess there's like some wetlands, marshy area, but I did not expect to see a groundhog here. Yeah, also, I'm doing this all before work, you guys. Like, that's me using my free will and being creative as well. Creativity seeps into everything. It is the words you speak. It is the way you choose to utilize your time in the studio and outside of it. It is the food and drink that you utilize to nourish your body. It is your mindset. It is everything. It is everywhere. Allow yourself to pay attention to how you show up creatively in your everyday, in conversations, in stillness, in silence. And I am going to creatively jump into this body of water, and beautiful hawk. Thank you. And just be free, and then go and live the rest of my day. And yeah. Okay. I love you. You're doing great, and I'm proud of you. Go be free. You deserve it.